Okay, so good afternoon class. Naririnig ako?
Yes po, Dok.
Okay. So, musta yung midterm exams nyo?
Mahirap po, Dok.
Na ano ba? Na-release na ba sa inyo yung scores nyo?
As of na wala pa po.
Okay, sige. So, ako personally, hindi ko pa din nakikita yung grades nyo. Pero ngayon, di-discuss natin, no? Yung 1 to 100 para makita natin saan kayo nagkamali as a preparation na din sa board exam nyo. Nakikita yung slides?
Yes po, Dok.
Okay. Tama, di ba ito yung pina-exam sa inyo?
Yes po, tama po.
Okay, sige. So, let's start. So, question number 1, pasagutan naman Aramay. Ibasahin yung buong question tapos sabihin yung ano. Tingin mong sagot.
A slow-growing, orange-pigmented acid-pass bacillus was isolated from a cervical lymph node of a child with symptoms of cervical adenitis. The most likely etiological agent in this case would be um, A po.
Okay, A. Very good. So, yun yung tamang sagot, no? So, Mycobacterium scrofolaceum, siya yung most common cause ng lymphadenitis, especially sa mga children. So, ngayon, ano yung tawag natin dun sa ano, swelling ng cervical tsaka supraclavicular lymph nodes na usually nakikita sa TB tsaka dito?
Ano?
Ar um, Arami, ano yung tingin mong tawag dun sa painless swelling ng cervical tsaka supraclavicular lymph nodes na usually associated sa TB?
Hindi ko po sure eh. Hindi po ba yan yung ano? Concroid? O hindi?
Hindi. Iba sa class. Sino kaya nakakaalam? Ano yung tawag natin dun? Okay, the answer is scrofula. No, so scrofula, siya yung rinirefer natin dun sa painless swelling sa cervical tsaka supraclavicular lymph nodes. Bukod sa associated siya kay scrofulaceum, associated din sa MTB in adults. Sige, let's go to number 2, Carl Joshua Estrada. Carl Joshua,
Sir,
pasagutan yung number, basahin yung number 2 tas sagot. Anong sagot mo doon?
the identification of Mycobacterium malmoense and Mycobacterium zulgi has been aided by the use of thin layer chromatography, which profiles their characteristics blank extracted from their cell walls. Di ko po sure ang sagot, sir, pero letter D po.
Okay, letter D. So, ang letter D, ang teichoic acid, usually nakikita natin to. Tandaan to ha, ang teichoic acid, usually nakikita yan sa gram-positive. So, sa cell wall ng mga gram-positive bacteria, nakikita si teichoic acid. When it comes to your mycobacteria, ang pinakailangan tandaan dyan is yung kanilang lipids na nakikita sa cell wall. Kaya nga 'di ba sila acid fast? Kasi meron silang mycolic acid na tinatawag na nag-aano nung cell wall nila, kino-comprise yung cell wall nila. Okay? Number 3, Christine Joy.
A culture of decubitus ulcer grew a gram-negative facultative bacillus. On TSI, it produced an acid slant, acid bath, and gas from glucose fermentation. Test reactions in other media were as follows. The citrate negative, ONPG is positive, the indole positive, Voges lactose tower negative and the urease is negative. The organism was identified as Sir letter, di ko ako sure,
Letter?
Sir letter C.
Okay, letter C. Wait lang. Ano po yun? Opo. Sige. Sorry, naputol. So, ano yung sagot mo sa number 3?
Letter C po, sir. Enterobacter coachi.
Okay, Enterobacter. So, actually, the right answer, lagi tatandaan, si E. coli. Pag nakita si E. coli, ang MD characteristic niya is always positive, positive, negative, negative. Ibig sabihin, pag nakita yun, si indole positive, methyl red positive. Usually, methyl red tsaka VP, magkabaliktad halos lagi yan. Pag positive ka sa methyl red, negative ka usually sa VP. Okay. Ano pang kailangan tandaan dito? Gas forming. So remember, your E. coli is a gas forming gas forming bacteria. So the correct answer here is letter D, Escherichia coli. Okay? Number 4, Danila. Pasagutan nyo number 4. Danica Ella.
The potentially lethal intoxication type of food poisoning associated with improperly canned food is caused by letter D po.
Okay, very good. Letter D. No, your Clostridium botulinum. Bukod sa canned foods, ano pang ibang correlated kay Clostridium botulinum? Especially sa babies.
Sloppy baby syndrome po ba?
Okay, yes. Associated siya sa sloppy baby. Usually, anong food ang association nito? Kasi usually, mga babies, hindi naman sila kumakain ng mga improperly canned foods. Such as mga delata. So, usually sa pag baby, ano kaya yung nakakain nila na correlated kay Clostridium botulinum? It's actually your honey. Okay? So, sa babies, usually, pag nakakita kayo nakakain ng honey, tapos nag-present siya ng symptoms ng sloppy baby, iisipin natin si Clostridium botulinum. Okay, number 5, Dominic.
Hello po. Di po kita yung choices, Doc.
Ay, sorry. Ayan.
Okay po. A purulent aspirate of joint fluid from a 40-year-old female seen in the arthritis clinic was sent for microbiologic examination. The gram stain of this sample revealed many polymorphonuclear cells with intracellular and extracellular gram-negative diplococci. Given the specimen type and microscopic findings, the appropriate selective medium for primary isolation would be, di ko po sure, Doc, pero sagot ko po letter A, Thayer Martin agar.
Okay, sige. Alamin muna natin, anong bakterya kaya tinutukoy dito?
Neisseria po.
Malaria.
Okay, very good. Your Neisseria gonorrhea. Remember, ano ang characteristic natin kay Neisseria gonorrhea? Bukod sa glucose fermenter siya, gram-negative diplococci. No? Pag nakita natin yung gram-negative diplococci, unang isipin kagad natin is Neisseria. Ngayon, makikita natin dito, sa patient na ito is nag-cause siya ng infectious or septic arthritis. Especially sa mga sexually active females, no? Hindi common na pag nakita nyo yung gonorrhea, isipin nyo lang is STD, isipin nyo lang may discharge. Pwede ding magkaroon ng tinatawag na septic arthritis. So, tama naman, the answer here is Thayer Martin. Kasi Thayer-Martin ang ginagamit nating agar to isolate your Neisseria gonorrhea species. Okay, let's go to number 6. L. Arni.
A species of Brucella that did not require increased carbon dioxide for growth and produce hydrogen sulfide was isolated from an abattoir worker. The dye inhibition test showed growth in the presence of thionine and fuchsin, and the urease test was positive in 2 hours. The species identification made as a result of this information was, hindi ko po sure sir, pero yung melitensis po yung sinagot ko.
Okay, at least magaling manghula, no? Yan. So tama naman, Brucella melitensis ang sagot. So anong kailangan natin tandaan kay Brucella melitensis? First of all, unique sa kanya kasi yung hindi niya kailangan ng carbon dioxide. A lot of your Brucella species kasi they need the carbon dioxide to grow. Another one would be your being urease positive. Okay? So number 7. Let's go, Hazel. Okay, Hazel, nandiyan ka?
All of the following are correct about Neisseria gonorrhea except... Sir, di ko rin po sure yung sagot ko. Ang sinagot ko po ang C.
C. Okay, tignan natin yung mga choices, no? So first, makikita natin fastidious ang growth requirement. Is this true? Yes. When it comes to your Neisseria gonorrhea, kaya nga meron tayong specialized agar na ginagamit kasi hindi niya kayang basta-basta tumugo dun sa ating blood agar plate o sa McConkey. Serotyping exploits antigenic variation of pore proteins. This is also true. Remember, isa sa mga pathogenesis o pathophysiology kung bakit nakakatakas si Neisseria gonorrhea sa ating complement system tsaka macrophage phagocytosis is because of the antigenic variation na pinapakita niya. Letter C, adversely affected by drying and fatty acid. This is actually true. So the false answer, the incorrect answer here would be letter D, no capsule. Remember, for your Neisseria gonorrhea, meron siyang capsule. Ano bang difference ng capsule niya? Yung capsule niya is walang silbi. So Neisseria gonorrhea has a capsule pero hindi siya effective when it comes to prevention of phagocytosis. Unlike your Neisseria meningitidis, may capsule siya which is also useful kasi napipigilan niya yung complement activation tsaka yung phagocytosis of your macrophages. So for number 7, the answer is letter D. Okay, let's go to number 8. Jason?
Number 8 po. All of the following are true about gonorrhea except letter B po, sir.
Okay, very good. Letter B. So, pag nakita natin yung question, primary site of infection in females is cervix. This is actually true. Number C, letter C pala, primary site of infection in male is your urethra. That's also good. Transmitted by sexual contact, that's also true. Kaya nga tinatawag natin siyang sexually transmitted disease. So, mediated penicillin resistance is not C. Actually, this is false. Due to the advent of false use, lagi natin ginagamit yung antibiotic, especially sa Pinas, mapakonting sipon, mapakonting kubo, kahit hindi bacterial, nag-antibiotic tayo, nag-increase na talaga yung mga bacterial strains na resistant sa antibiotic. Same with your Neisseria. Okay, number 9, let's go with John Arel Tolentino.
When a case of nocardiosis is suspected, isolates of nocardia asteroids can be separated from other bacteria by hindi ko po sure pero sagot ko po ito letter C po.
Letter C, okay. So letter C would be correct if the tinatanong natin dito would be your Listeria or Yersinia, which are cold-loving no microorganisms. For this case, for Nocardia asteroides, ang best answer would be letter D, incubating the culture at greater than 37 degrees. Doc, bakit hindi pwede yung B, heat shocking? Because heat shocking would just destroy the bacteria kasi gumagamit ng severe heat dito eh. Gumagamit ng more than 100 degrees. Now, if you incubate the culture at greater than 37, which is the human temperature, mas tumutubo dito si Nocardia kumpara sa mga ibang bacteria. So the correct answer would be letter D. Okay, number 10. So tapos na si Jason. Jorain. Ann?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay,
Number 10. A 21-year-old sexually active woman came to the university student health service with a two-day history of urinary frequency with urgency dysuria and evidence of blood. She had no history of prior urinary tract infection. Laboratory tests showed a slightly elevated white blood cell count of 10,500 microliters. The urine sediment contained innumerable white cells suggestive of urinary tract infection. Cultures yield more than 10 is to 5 colony forming units of a lactose fermenting gram-negative blood. The most likely etiologic agent in this case is letter A po ba, Doc?
Okay, very
Escherichia
good.
coli.
Letter A. So yung E. coli natin, siya yung most common cause of UTI. Ngayon halimbawa kung tinanong natin dito, sexually active siya pero ang lumabas sa kanyang colonies was gram-positive cocci. Sino kayang tutuisipin natin?
Saprophyticus.
Okay, very good, no? Your Saprophyticus, your Staphylococcus saprophyticus. So pag binabasa natin dito, nakikita nyo, di ba, nakalagay din dito, culture yields more than 10 is to 5 colony. Bakit kailangan specific yan? Remember, when it's your urine culture, kailangan more than 10 is to 5 para masabi nating significant. Unless na yung kinuhanan nating sample is by aseptic technique. So, limbawa, yung nag-insert tayo through cystotomy, kumuha tayo mismo, nag-insert tayo ng needle para kumuha sa bladder natin. Yun pwedeng less than 10 is to 5. Pero pag sa urinary tract, pag ihi yung ginagamit natin, at least 10 is to 5 ang kailangan para masabi nating significant. What else? UTI, especially your E. coli, so alam na natin siya yung number 1. Remember, yung IMVIC natin kanina, your positive, positive, negative, negative. Ano pang kailangan tandaan kay E. coli? Tandaan din natin yung green metallic sheet. As much as possible, tandaan nyo din yung difference ng EPEC, EHEC, EYEC, EPEC, EYAC, no? So all of this can be asked in your board exam. Kasi pwede silang mag-ask ng isang specific question about your, liba, enteropathogenic or enterotoxigenic. So kailangan maisa-isa nyo talagang maaral yun. So for this, the correct answer would be E. coli. Okay, number 11. Let's go, Larsen.
Dok, hindi po kita.
Ayan.
A recent Asian immigrant was found to be positive for the tuberculin skin test. The positive result most likely can be attributed to, di rin po ako sure, Doc, pero letter A po.
Okay, letter A, very good. No, previous BCG vaccination. Remember, nakita natin dito, immigrant siya. So, ibig sabihin, so most likely this is a case in the US. So, nagkaroon sila ng Asian immigrant. So, nung lumipat yung Asian doon, we know that TB is not commonly seen in first world countries. No, usually sa third world countries talaga natin nakikita. So, kung nag-positive sa tuberculin skin test, if there is no previous exposure, the best answer would be your previous BCG vaccination. Makikita kasi natin dito, your letter B, letter C, and letter D is not really related with previous exposure, kundi active infection. Okay. Number 12, Leonica.
Your patient has traveled to Haiti and took prophylactic chloroquine, but stopped just as he left the region and still developed plasmodium vivax malaria. What stage were not eliminated because he stopped taking the drug early.
So, ano tingin mong sagot?
Um, wala lang, sir. A po.
Okay. So, remember when it comes to your malarial species, meron tayong exo-erythrogenic state, meron din tayong outside, no? So, meron tayong stages na ginagawa sa mismong RBCs during the blood stage at meron din tayong gagawang stages na ginagawa outside. So, that would be your liver. Bakit importante yung liver dito? Nandiyan kasi yung liver seeds natin tsaka merozoite. Sila yung nagiging hypnozoite which would remain there for a long time until ma-reactivate. So kung hindi natapos ng maayos yung chloroquine niya, pwedeng napatay ng chloroquine yung erythrogenic cycles natin, yung dumadaan sa blood. Pero yung exoerythrogenic, especially those in the liver, hindi niya totally mapapatay. So pwede silang magstay doon. So the correct answer here would be letter E. Okay, let's go to number 13. Ninyalin.
For 13 po, in January, a 74 years old woman is brought to the hospital emergency room by her husband who stated that she had complained of a fever and headache during the past week and during the last 2 days is confused and cannot perform her daily chore. Her physical examination indicates some weaknesses in her left side and her head. MRI shows necrosis in the right temporal lobe. What is the causative agent? Doc, letter B po. Rabies virus.
Okay. So pag binasa natin yung case natin dito, makikita natin na yung patient natin, bukod sa meron siyang fever and headache, meron siyang weakness sa kanyang left side ng head tsaka neck. MRI shows necrosis in the right temporal lobe. Bakit important yung right temporal lobe? Because the correct answer here would be your HSV1, so herpes simplex 1 virus. Ngayon, bakit importante yung temporal lobe when it comes to your herpes? Kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na temporalitis or temporal lobe encephalitis na kinokos ni HSV1. Bakit hindi rabies? Pag binasa kasi natin yung ating case, makikita natin wala diyang ina-indicate na nakagat siya ng aso or nakagat siya ng kahit na anong animal. Pangalawa, yung mga symptoms na pinapakita niya is fever and headache. Hindi tayo nakakakita ng hallucinations, wala tayong nakikitang aggressiveness, hindi natin nakikita na takot siya sa tubig or feeling na nalulunod siya, walang kahit na ganong symptoms. Yung mga symptoms niya, more of encephalitis. So based dun sa case, dun sa symptoms na pinapakita niya, tsaka location ng necrosis, the best answer would be HSV1. Okay? So next, number 15. Tama, no? Renally yung huli ko na tawag.
Ninya po.
Okay, so now si Renalyn naman, Herradura.
Yes po, sir. Number 15 po.
14.
14. A patient presents with paranasal swelling, hemorrhagic exudates in the eyes and nares, and mental lethargy. Non-septate hyphae are found invading the tissues. Rhinocerebral mucor infection or zygomycosis is diagnosed. What is most likely underlying condition? Sir, hindi ko po sure, pero yung sagot ko po is yung A po.
Okay, Epstein-Barr virus. So your Epstein-Barr virus, alam nating associated yan with what? Your infectious mononucleosis. Usually, wala siyang myco or fungi na correlated sa kanya. No? Pwedeng magkaroon ng candida infection, especially if the patient has AIDS. Pero pag nakita natin si mucor infection, iisa lang tandaan nyo, diabetic yung patient. Pag diabetic kasi yung patient natin, he or she has increased risk for developing fungal infections. The most common would be your candida, pero pag si mucor ang nakita, isa din siya, isipin natin kagad na meron siyang diabetes. So dito, nagbigay lang ako ng specific, no, ketoacidotic diabetes. Pero kahit diabetes lang yung nakalagay dyan, that would still be the correct answer. Okay, so wag kakalimutan, pag nakita ang mucor infection at tinatanong kung anong classification ng patient or underlying cause, it would always, number 1 would be diabetes. Okay, number 15, Stephanie. Ay, sorry. Yan. Okay. So pag nakita natin dito, first tingnan natin yung case, no? Ang nakalagay dito, gram-negative bacteria. So nung nakita natin si gram-negative bacteria, pasok sino? Pasok tong A, C, E, and B. Tanggal natin si Streptococcus. Kasi remember, Streptococcus is a gram-positive. Ano pang nakikita natin dito? Meron siyang headache, neck stiffness, tsaka fever. So isipin natin dito, okay, meron tayong meningitis na nangyayari. So alam na natin meron tayong bacterial meningitis na nangyayari. So kung meron kang bacterial meningitis, anong most common dito? Actually, I would agree the best answer would still be Neisseria meningitidis, letter C. Okay. Number 16. Balik tayo kay Arame.
In the previous case, the substance found in the patient's CSF that gives the positive agglutination test plays a role in the pathogenesis. What is the role? Hindi ko po sure, pero ano ba sinagot ko? Letter D na lang po.
Ang galing ng hula. Actually, that's the correct answer no, letter D. So, isa-isayin natin bakit hindi. So, ang tinatanong natin dito, yung substance na nakikita daw sa patient's CSF that gives the positive agglutination test, no, also plays a role in the pathogenesis. So, dito usually that would be the capsule. So, does it enhance your opsonization? No, it does not. Ano bang ginagawa ng capsule natin dito, especially for Neisseria meningitidis? It inhibits your phagocytic uptake in the blood serum. So the correct answer would be letter D. Enhancement of your opsonization. Actually, ayaw nga natin to kasi pag na-enhance yung opsonization, hindi na makakagalaw yung bacteria natin. So hindi na siya makakakos ng sakit na gusto niya. It causes a strong inflammatory response, losing tight junctions, allowing invasion of the CNS. That would be more of your lipo-oligosaccharides. It allows binding of the vascular endothelium, triggering the uptake and passage into the CSF. This would be more likely the proteins no rini-release ng Neisseria. Okay, so the best answers would still be letter D. Okay, number 17, Arnel.
Good afternoon po, Doc. A female infant is born to a 16-year-old mother. The infant shows signs and symptoms of hepatosplenomegaly, jaundice, low birth weight, chorioretinitis, and microcephaly. The mother appears healthy and reports are unremarkable pregnancy except for a period during the third month when she developed a fever, sore throat, and became extremely fatigued for a period of 10 days. The most likely causative pathogen for the infant's disease is, Dok, hindi po ako sure, pero CMV po yung sinagot ko, Dok.
Okay, very good. No, that's the correct answer. Bakit natin nasabing CNV? Una, makikita natin yung symptoms sa pinakita dito. Yung symptoms sa pinakita ng pregnancy was there was fever, sore throat, and became extremely fatigued for a period of 10 days. This is similar to your letter G or your kinokos ng infectious mononucleosis. Remember your CMV, cytomegalo, can also cause your infectious mononucleosis. Ngayon, bakit hindi si Epstein-Barr, bakit si CMV? Una, wala sa choices si Epstein-Barr. Pangalawa, pag nakita natin yung presentation sa infant, so alam na natin yung extremely fatigue, fever, sore throat, manifestation ni CMV dun sa pregnant. Pag nakita nyo yung chorioretinitis tsaka microcephaly, isa sa number one priority nyo dapat would be your CMV. Kasi CMV is the number one cause of your prenatal infections. Okay, number 18, Carl Joshua.
Sir, hindi ko po makita yung um, mga choices po. Thank you po. In which of the following fungal scalp infection is hair loss most likely to be permanent? Uh, sagot ko po is um, letter D.
Okay. So letter D or favus or Retinia fabosa is the correct answer, no? So pag nagkaroon tayo ng infection with Retinia fabosa, most likely yung hair loss natin dito would be permanent. Bakit? Kasi sa tinea fabosa, hindi lang niya inattack yung mismong hair follicles, pati yung hair root affected dito. So remember, kung masisira kasi yung hair root natin, wala nang pattern na kukunin yung buhok kung para saan siya tutubo. So talagang hindi. Unlike your Zoophila tinea capitis, your letter A na tinanggal na natin yun, nandun pa rin yung root kung saan tutubo yung hair. Enjoy?
Sir, number 20 po.
Number 19.
A 7-year-old boy develops vesicular skin lesions on his trunk, but they quickly spread to his extremities and appear on the scalp. Scrapings from the vesicle show multinucleated cells and Cauchy type A inclusion bodies. This disease could have been prevented with a vaccine composed of Sir, sagot ko po letter C.
Bakit letter C? Anong virus ang iniisip mo dito? Bakit letter C ang naisip mo? Christine?
Yes po, sir.
Bakit letter C? Anong virus ang nasa isip mo na nagkakos ng Cowdry type A inclusion bodies?
Sir, hindi po ba sir?
Okay.
Variola po.
Ano? It's actually varicella, no? So this is most likely a case of your varicella. At least malapit, di ba? Okay. So remember, Cowdry type A. Saan natin nakikita tong Cowdry type A? Either sa herpes simplex or sa varicella zoster infection. So, si varicella, alam natin na binibigay siya as one of your vaccines kasama ng MMR, right? MMRV, measles, mumps, rubella, varicella. So, ano ba yung composition ng varicella? So, varicella is a live attenuated virus, the same as your measles, mumps, rubella. Measles, mumps, rubella. Kaya nga pagdating sa mga buntis, sa mga immunocompromised, hindi natin binibigay sila measles, mumps, rubella, varicella, kasi live attenuated virus yan, pwede silang makakause ng infection sa mga immunocompromised. Okay. Next, number 20, Danica.
A 26-year-old woman presents with high fever, painful and frequent urination, and left lung pain. The isolate is a gram-negative broadsheet, facultative anaerobe that is oxidase negative and ferments glucose factor. From this data, what genus is most likely? Uh, Hipo?
Letter, sorry.
Hipo?
Hindi ko naintindihan, sorry.
Letter C po.
Okay, letter C. Very good. Yung Escherichia. Remember this, high fever, painful and frequent urination, and left lung pain is most likely a case of UTI, or kung sakaling it's more of cystitis or nephro. No? So ngayon may problema yung kidneys natin. Ang nakita nilang bacteria dito is gram-negative rod shape. So pwede na natin kalimutan muna si Saprophyticus kasi UTI siya tas gram-negative rot. Remember what's the most common cause of UTI? It's still Escherichia coli. So the correct answer would be still letter C. Okay, number 21. Dominic.
Number 21. In this same case, what virulence factor does the above agent capable of causing an ascending urinary tract and pyelonephritis have that is missing in its normal flora? Fraternal twin with the same genus and species. Sagot ko po dyan, Doc, C. P. pili.
Okay, very good. Your pilay, no? Para saan ba tong pilay nito? Pilay is the one that's being used for your attachment. Kaya nga kaya niyang umakyat papunta from your urethra, from your cervix, paakyat, papunta sa kidneys natin, causing your pyelonephritis. Ngayon, bakit sinabi dito yung normal flora? Remember E. coli, normal flora yan sa intestines natin. So usually, especially sa mga babae, pag mali yung paghuhugas nila, pag dumudumi, nangyayari is yung bacteria from your normal flora, from your intestines, pag lininis mo, mapupunta siya sa connection, kasi may connection yan eh. Papunta sa vagina. Pag pumunta doon, aakyat siya causing your UTI. Now, your females are more susceptible, unlike your males, because the passages of males is yung penis natin, medyo malayo, hindi siya connected na yung butas. Okay, so next, number 22, L. Arnie.
A 6-month-old child has had watery diarrhea for 6 days. The stool have no blood and no pus. The causative agent has double-stranded RNA as genetic material. Which of the following is the most likely causative agent? Yung letter C po, rotavirus.
Okay, very good, no? 6 months o infant, nag-cause ng watery diarrhea. Remember, watery diarrhea and a 6-month-old child, kahit hindi mo alam na double-stranded ba to or DNA virus ba to, RNA virus, makita mo lang yung 6-month-old child, tas watery, dapat isipin yan. What about if adult yung case natin? What's the most common virus or causative agent for diarrhea in adults?
Norovirus.
Okay, very good. Your Norwalk virus. Okay. So let's go to number 23. So Hazel.
23. A 19-year-old college freshman has a sore throat, sore and enlarging cervical lymph nodes, and a fever and is greatly fatigued. A diagnosis of infectious mononucleosis is made. Which of the following factors is present? Sir, di rin po ako sure. Letter C po.
Okay, letter C. So your TAT protein ang kinoconsider mo. Bakit mo kinoconsider ang TAT protein?
Ano po ulit yun, sir?
Bakit mo kinoconsider ang TAT protein? Ano ba ibig sabihin nito?
Sir, hindi ko po sure. Hindi ko po
Okay. Sige, so unahin muna natin yung tamang sagot. No? So the correct answer here is your letter F, no? Your viral capsid antigen. Yung TAT protein natin, regulatory protein yan na nakikita natin sa HIV. So pag nakita si TAT, usually kay HIV yan. When it comes to your case, this is a case of infectious nucleosis. Si infectious mononucleosis, anong virus ngayong most common na nagkakos sa kanya?
Epstein-Barr virus.
Okay, very good. Your Epstein-Barr virus. Your Epstein-Barr virus, ang pinaka-importanting protein na ginagamit niya would be your VCA, your viral capsid antigen. So dito, para magawa yung ma-diagnose natin yung patient na meron siyang infectious nucleosis, kailangan makita natin yung mismong antigen ng virus, yung viral capsid antigen niya. Okay, next, 24, John Arel.
A child presents with impetigo with bullae, a gram-positive, hemolytic, catalase-positive, coagulase-positive coctus is isolated. Which of the following is most likely organism? Joke lang, di po.
Okay, very good, no? Letter D. So, self-explanatory na to, catalase positive. So, alam natin staphylococcus yan. Coagulase positive. Sino lang ba yung mga coagulase positive dun sa group natin ng staphylococcus? It's your aureus. Okay, next, 25. Jason.
A woman who is an intravenous drug abuser and who has been a prostitute for the past 20 years now has an aoritis. She has no mucosal ulceration or exanthems. Her BDRL disease research laboratory test is negative and fluorescent treponemal antibody absorption test is positive. What is most likely diagnosis? Um, ano po yung sagot ko dyan? Letter B po.
Okay. So remember, when you see your latent syphilis, so when it comes to your VDRL, yes, negative siya, and yung antibody natin positive. However, pag nakita natin yung case, yung patient kasi natin, meron na siyang aoritis. Ibig sabihin, yung heart niya, na-infect na yung aorta. So pag nakita natin na-infect na yung heart sa syphilis, na-infect na yung CNS, or nag-present na siya ng mga gumas, that's already a sign of tertiary syphilis. So the correct answer is letter C, tertiary syphilis. Okay, next, si Joreen, number 26.
Number 26, a 10-month-old child presents with a temperature of 39.8 degrees Celsius and letter G. Brudzinski's and Koenig signs are both present. Gram stain of sediment from CSF showed gram-negative rods. What part of routine healthcare could have prevented this disease? Dok, di ko sure yung sagot ko dyan. Pero yung alam ko sa nagot ko dyan, Dok, letter E. Pero hinulaan ko lang.
Okay, so your letter E kasi is more of your pneumonia or streptococcus pneumoniae na vaccine. So the correct answer here is letter A. So your covalently linked protein polyribitol vaccine. Remember, nandyan yung tinatawag nating pentavalent vaccine. So kasama dyan yung kasama dyan yung tinatawag nating ano ba to? Diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. Kasama din dyan si Haemophilus, no? Yung Hib natin. Tapos, sinasama din dyan si tetanus. So, makikita natin itong polyribitol vaccine na to is more of for Haemophilus influenzae na kayang ma-prevent pag binigay. Kasi tignan mo, 10-month-old na to eh. Usually, binibigay natin yung pentavalent at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, tsaka 14 weeks. So, ito, 6 months, 10 months na. So, dapat may protection na siya. However, hindi kasi nabigay sa kanya. Kaya nag-cause ng meningitis. Itong patient na to has meningitis. Bakit ito nasabi? Kasi Brudzinski and Koenig-Steins are both present. Itong dalawa kasi makikita natin sa meningitis sa patient. Okay, next, number 27. Babasa pa ba? Ayan. Okay, number 27, Larsen.
A neonate with very low Apgar score dies 2 hours after birth. Autopsy reveals disseminated granulomatous lesions throughout. Some are cessating, but they are not calcified. During her pregnancy, the mother most likely had septicemia caused by SIPO, Listeria monocytes.
Okay, very good. No, pag nakita ang disseminated granulomatous lesions, sa isang baby, tas nagkaroon ng infection yung mother, most likely this would be your listeria. Ngayon halimbawa, during the early course ng pregnancy nangyari to, magkakaroon na tawag na hydrops fetalis. Okay? 28, Leonica.
What respiratory infection is known to increase susceptibility to pneumonia caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae? Ano sis? Influenza virus infection. Wala lang.
Okay. Okay, very good. No? So, yung influenza virus. When it comes to your streptococcus, pati staphylococcus, no? Itong mga bacterial infections kasi na to, ini-increase niya yung risk mo magkaroon ng viral infections. Kasi yung mga viral infections natin, usually opportunistic yung mga yan eh. Kung kailan nangihina yung immune system natin, dun sila atake. Such your influenza. So influenza, though yung common ng flu sa Pinas, nakikita din natin sa mga healthy people, pero mas at risk kang magkaroon ng secondary infection with your flu kung meron ka ng primary bacterial infection. Your Epstein-Barr virus, hindi siya commonly nagkakos yan because this one is associated with kissing or your sexual transmission. Mycoplasma pneumoniae is also considered as an atypical pneumonia, so hindi niya kailangan ng primary infection. At yung tuberculosis naman, alam natin na si Mycobacterium tuberculosis, nakikita natin yan through respiratory droplets with or without your primary infection. Okay, number 29. Ninya Lynn.
29. A patient with sickle cell anemia is most likely to have repeated septicemias and possible osteomyelitis with which agent? Sir, yung D po, or Staph aureus.
Okay, remember nung lecture natin, binanggit ko to? Pag nabasa si Salmonella enteritidis, isa sa dapat isipin natin would be your sickle cell. Kasi pag meron kang sickle cell anemia, at risk ka for osteomyelitis caused by your Salmonella species. So the correct answer here would be Salmonella. So pag nakita si sickle cell, number 1 na iisipin muna si Salmonella. Okay? Number 30, Renalyn.
The mother of a 9-year-old who is in the same school as another child just diagnosed with meningitis, but who did not know nor had any direct contact with the infected child, called the pediatrician demanding her son to be prophylactically treated. The physician suggests vaccinating the boy and doing surveillance culture and watching the child for symptoms. The medium that the lab will use has antibiotics in it and therefore is uncalled. Sir, hindi ko po sure. Pero ano po, selective medium po.
Okay, very good. That's a correct answer. So, paano natin masasabi na differential medium? Differential medium, binabanggit natin to pag kaya niyang i-differentiate. For example, your McConkey is a differential medium kasi kaya niyang differentiate yung lactose fermenters from your non-lactose fermenters. Doc, may antibiotic siya, bakit hindi siya kino-considered as inhibitory medium? Inhibitory kasi from the word itself, ini-inhibit yung growth. So usually ginagamit din natin yung antibiotics, pero dito kasi pwede mo ipigilan lahat. So selective, specifically for this case, it's Neisseria meningitidis. So si Neisseria meningitidis, kailangan natin ng anong agar ulit? Your Thayer-Martin agar, which is a selective medium. Okay, next, 31. So, tapos na si Renalyn. Rose Ann.
While on winter semester break, a 21-year-old male college student appeared at his family physician office with a severe skin lesion on his right arm. They consist of a central pustule with a raised erythematous area. He reports that the only recent unusual activities that have involved skin exposure have been hot tub parties at his friend's cabin during the previous 2 weekends. What is the most likely causative infectious agent? Dok, hindi ko po sure, pero nag-Pseudomonas aeruginosa po ako.
Ang galing, hindi kayo sure pero laging tama yung sagot niyo. Okay. So tama no, Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Remember one of the diseases na kinokos ni Pseudomonas? Bukod sa high risk siya sa mga patient na may burn, is hot tub folliculitis. So dun sa case natin, no, makikita natin yung patient exposed at hindi naman sinabi ditong sexually active yung patient natin. So the best still answer would be Pseudomonas. Okay, number 32, Stephanie. Okay, very good. Campylobacter jejuni. Bakit natin iniisip to? First, makikita natin doon sa case, may bloody stool. So, pag nakita natin yung bloody stool, pwede natin tanggalin sino? Si Staphylococcus aureus. Although Staphylococcus aureus is known to cause food poisoning, hindi bloody yung stool na kinagawa niya. Your Vivria parahemolyticus, pwede natin tanggalin to kasi wala namang indications dito ng mga seashells or seafoods. Walang ganon. Now, so choice na lang natin would be A and B. Yung patient natin, bukod sa meron siyang bloody stool, meron din siyang fever na nakita. At anong source nila? Source daw nila is raw milk. So pag nakita natin itong tatlong combined, ang iisipin kagad natin would be Campylobacter jejuni. Okay? So next, number 33. So bago tayo since last naman na yun muna, so magbibigay na lang ako ng bagong link kay Hazel. Pasok na lang no kasi mag-1 hour na tayo dito. Tapos tuloy na natin yung the rest of the questions. Okay? Pasok kayo dun sa bago ko ibibigay na ano.